Hi guys, Robert Lentini from the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show here. I wasn't going to make a video today. I haven't gotten a haircut in a while. I haven't shaved. I haven't had an off day in over a week and a half just writing about wrestling. Not that's like a real job, but just writing about wrestling all day. I'm drained. Just going to enjoy a nice off day. And then I see this Tony Khan tweet following last night's episode of Dynamite. Let me just read it to you, sum it up real quick. Just got the great news from TBS Network. Last night's Dynamite up 29% from last week, up 17% from the previous 6-week average. The previous 6-week average has sucked. So he's just bragging about like we're not as bad as we were the past few weeks in terms of ratings. And in order to bump the ratings, Tony Khan had to show footage of the Jack Perry and CM Punk fight from All In 2023. And it was counterproductive. Mostly everybody thought it was a stupid decision. There's reports today that backstage morale is at an all-time low. Nobody wanted the decision. Apparently the Young Bucks didn't even want to show the footage. And then Hook is going to explore free agency when his contract is up at the end of the year. He's already told Tony Khan, he's already leaked to the media, I'm going to explore free agency. So he doesn't want to be there. He senses a sinking ship. They're losing their young talent now. Hook was supposed to be a star for this company. They haven't really done anything. Lion Hook was a disaster, and now Hook wants to leave. I'm just going to do a 5-point plan here on how Tony Khan can get AEW back on track, because I don't want this channel to be bash AEW all the time. Though AEW has created a lot of great moments, but some of their decisions lately have really just shaken me to the core in terms of my belief in Tony Khan and this promotion moving forward. As Punk said, AEW will always exist as long as Tony Khan wants to pump money into it, but I'm not invested as I used to be. And that's kind of sad, because when AEW first launched, it was my promotion because it was Vince McMahon's WWE, and I hated everything about it. And I was so ready for Tony Khan and AEW to be the alternative. And then they got CM Punk, and CM Punk's my favorite wrestler. And I'm like, holy shit, there's an actual alternative here. And then everything fell apart. Once Vince McMahon resigned and Triple H showed up in power, Tony Khan's still trying to book an alternative to Vince McMahon's WWE, and that doesn't exist. The Jericho Appreciation Society was around for like 9 months longer than they should have been, parodying sports entertainment. Meanwhile, WWE's putting on the best shit they've done in years. So here's my 5-point plan here real quick on how I think AEW can just begin to restore their reputation. I don't think they're getting back to the numbers of $1,900,000 anytime soon. They don't have the stars. They have the talent. They don't have the stars. They're not making the talent into stars. They have an incredible roster. They just have failed to build people. So point number 1, Tony Khan needs to hire a booker or hire somebody he can bounce ideas off of that has experience in this industry, and he will listen to, because his ideas aren't working. They just aren't working. Why is House of Black attacking Adam Copeland? What's the story? An attack isn't the story. What's the beef between the two so I can get invested? That's not a story. That's an angle. There's a huge difference, and Tony Khan just doesn't appear to understand that. Number 2, stop making it so toxic with CM Punk and his fans. CM Punk is a lot of people's favorite wrestler. And yes, he's a lightning rod. Yes, he's controversial. And I don't agree with everything he's ever done. But he's way more entertaining to me than the Young Bucks. Way more entertaining to me than anyone on their roster right now. And they fired him. And I understand why they had to fire him. It was untenable. At that point, if they had addressed it after All Out and had everybody get together during those suspensions and figure it out and come back and have an awesome storyline, it would have been epic. But instead, they did a brand split, ruined everything, ruined their chance, ruined the once in a lifetime opportunity at a storyline with CM Punk and the Elite. And they let it go. They let just CM Punk FTR versus the Elite. They let that all go, and now they're trying to do FTR versus the Young Bucks by mentioning CM Punk, and it's failing. And it's not going to work. So stop making it so toxic with CM Punk fans. You fired a lot of people's favorite wrestler. It is what it is. You had to do what you had to do. Own it. Stop trying to convince people to not like CM Punk. It's never going to happen. There's too much of a connection there. This is decades of enjoying this guy, and your company's been around for 5 years. It doesn't work like that. Number 3, focus on your own storylines. We have Will Ospreay showing up on Dynamite here, responding to a comment made by Triple H on the Pat McAfee show about he didn't want to, he's not upset he didn't get free agents who don't want to grind at that age, who don't want to be on the big stage. And Ospreay makes sense why he didn't want to go to WWE. He lives in the UK. It travels easier, big money. Have Will Ospreay respond to this on AEW Unrestricted. Does that podcast still exist? Have your talent do that on the podcast. Why are you doing it on national television? Why are you showing WWE that they just live rent-free in your head, Tony? It's embarrassing. You're never going to defeat WWE, Tony Khan. You will never in your lifetime take down WWE. It was a pipe dream to begin with. It was stupid, but I understood the challenger brand thing. But now, you're not a challenger. You're a distant second. Stop responding to WWE interviews and podcasts on your national television show. Your flagship show, Dynamite, 2 hours a week on Wednesday. Half of it was devoted to responding to WWE stars. It's embarrassing. Number 4, Tony Khan actually has to listen to his audience. He's just talking to his audience. He's not listening to them anymore. Nobody wanted to see that fucking footage. You can say people tuned in. It was 819,000. I thought it was going to be about 850 or almost approaching 9. They didn't even get a big bump as I thought. People were saying, oh my God, Drew McIntyre is going to have a field day with this footage. Yeah. You supplying the other company with storylines and material to bash you, and fans are just turning on you. So start listening to them. Stop doing this bullshit. Listen to the audience. Listen to these people. Your audience is the internet audience. You don't have mass appeal yet. You could have had it with Punk, but you'll let it fucking slip away. So just focus on, just listen to your core audience. And I don't think AEW, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think the core AEW audience wanted that footage shown. I think they want to move on. And finally, there needs to be someone backstage this week before Collision, Dynamite. I know they're probably already taped everything, but before they go to air next week, there needs to be a talent-only meeting, or everybody needs to get together in some kind of conference room in a Holiday Inn or something. And somebody needs to say, guys, what the fuck are we doing? Let's focus on us. WWE's kicking our ass because it's a team atmosphere. Everybody backstage is getting along. People are calling CM Punk their dad, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. CM Punk might have a blow-up in WWE in 6 months, and that will be WWE's problem. You don't address it on AEW because he's gone. Let's focus on our talent, our storylines, what we can do to get these fucking fans invested in the product again, instead of talking about CM Punk, who was fired in August of 2023. That's what I would do. Have someone, maybe it's Bryan Danielson, say, look, guys, we're in the shit right now. This isn't working out. But what we wanted, we look foolish. We're never going to do this shit again. We're learning from these mistakes. We're learning from these lashings. But instead, we got Tony Khan boasting about it on Twitter, so I don't think they're going to get that fucking point. And that's what my problem is with AEW. I have a very strong feeling that the wrong people are there at the top. And I'm not talking about the talent. I'm not even talking about the Young Bucks. Kind of am. I wish they worked out with CM Punk, but apparently they didn't want to show that footage. We'll see. There'll be news about that. We'll see. There's going to be documentaries. If this thing goes down south and goes out of business in a few years, there's going to be a lot of documentaries and a lot of books. It's going to be entertaining read to see why it went the way it did. But the decisions made now, you can't put it on CM Punk. He hasn't been there in 7 months. This is what there needs to be a kumbaya moment where everybody backstage airs out their grievances, and you might need to let go of some people who don't want to be there. It needs to be a team atmosphere. Everybody needs to be pulling in one direction, and I don't feel like that's the case now still. And I thought CM Punk was supposed to be the problem, but he's been gone now. But yeah, there's my 5-point plan for All Elite Wrestling, and I don't want this channel to become me just shitting on AEW, but I don't have too much positive to say about the company right now. So there's my 5-point plan for Tony Khan.